The worn ivory keys felt cool beneath her fingertips, a familiar sensation that brought a sense of calm to her restless heart. Each note resonated with memories, a bittersweet symphony of a life that once was, echoing the laughter and tears of days gone by. Emma closed her eyes, her fingers dancing across the keys as if they had a life of their own, guided by the emotions she could no longer contain. The piano, a gift from her late mother, was her sanctuary, a place where she could escape the harsh realities of the world and find solace in the music. It was in its embrace that she found solace from the pain of losing her parents, a pain that seemed to grow with each passing day. The music swirled around her, a comforting presence in her solitude, wrapping her in a cocoon of sound that shielded her from the outside world. Each chord held a memory, a whisper of laughter, a tear of grief, a fragment of the life she once knew and longed to reclaim. The piano understood her like no one else could, its keys responding to her touch with a sensitivity that mirrored her own emotions. It didn't judge her silences or her tears, it simply listened, offering a safe space for her to express the depths of her sorrow. It simply listened, its melodies echoing the emotions she held within, providing a voice for the pain she couldn't articulate. Emma poured her heart into every note, her grief transforming into a poignant melody that spoke of loss, love, and longing. The music was her voice, expressing the pain she couldn't put into words, a language that transcended the limitations of speech. It was a release, a catharsis that left her feeling empty and full all at once, a paradox that only the music could resolve. As the last note faded into the quiet room, Emma rested her forehead against the cool wood of the piano, feeling a sense of peace wash over her. A single tear traced a path down her cheek, a testament to the depth of her sorrow, but also to the healing power of the music. But within that sorrow, a flicker of hope remained, a small but persistent light that refused to be extinguished. The hope that one day the music would bring her joy again, that the melodies would once more be a source of happiness and not just a refuge from pain. She knew that the journey to healing was long, but with each note, she took a step closer to finding peace. And as she played, she allowed herself to dream of a future where the music would be a celebration of life, not just a remembrance of loss. For now, the piano was her companion, her confidant, and her guide through the labyrinth of her emotions. And as the final notes lingered in the air, she felt a sense of gratitude for the gift of music, a gift that had the power to heal even the deepest wounds. Lucas entered her life like a ray of sunshine breaking through storm clouds. His presence was unexpected, yet it brought a warmth and light that Emma hadn't felt in a long time. It was as if the universe had sent him to her at the exact moment she needed it most. He was drawn to her quiet intensity, her melancholic beauty. There was something about the way she carried herself, a silent strength that spoke volumes. Her eyes, though often filled with sadness, held a depth that intrigued him. He found her in the music room one afternoon, her slender fingers coaxing mournful melodies from the piano. The room was dimly lit, casting shadows that danced with the music. Each note she played seemed to tell a story, a tale of loss and longing. He stood silently, captivated by the raw emotion she poured into every note. It was as if the music was a window into her soul, revealing the depths of her pain and the strength she drew from it. He couldn't tear his eyes away, feeling a connection he couldn't quite explain. When she finally noticed him, her cheeks flushed with surprise. She wasn't used to having an audience, especially one that seemed so deeply moved by her music. Her initial reaction was one of embarrassment, but there was also a flicker of curiosity in her eyes. He introduced himself with a shy smile, his eyes reflecting a kindness that disarmed her. There was no judgment in his gaze, only genuine interest and warmth. It was a look she hadn't seen in a long time, and it made her feel unexpectedly safe. He spoke of her music not with pity, but with a reverence that touched her soul. He told her how her melodies resonated with him, how they seemed to capture emotions he had never been able to put into words. His words were a balm to her wounded spirit. He saw the pain she carried, but he also saw the strength and the beauty that resided within her. He admired her resilience, her ability to find solace in music despite the darkness that surrounded her. In her, he saw a kindred spirit, someone who understood the complexities of the human heart. Their conversations were easy, flowing effortlessly from music to literature to their hopes and dreams. They found common ground in their love for the arts, and their discussions often stretched late into the night. With each passing day, they grew closer, their bond strengthening with every shared word. He brought laughter back into her life, his presence a balm to her wounded spirit. His sense of humor was infectious, and she found herself smiling more often, the weight of her grief lifting ever so slightly. His laughter was like a melody, one that brought joy to her heart. He didn't try to fix her or erase her pain. Instead, he offered his unwavering support, a steady presence in her life. He understood that some wounds take time to heal, and he was willing to be there for her no matter how long it took. He simply offered his presence, a steady anchor in the storm of her grief. His hand in hers was a silent promise, a vow to stand by her side through the darkest of times. With him, she felt a sense of stability she hadn't known in years. For the first time since her parents' death, Emma felt a flicker of hope ignite within her. It was a small, fragile thing, but it was there, growing stronger with each passing day. She began to believe that maybe, just maybe, there was a future worth looking forward to. Lucas, with his gentle spirit and kind heart, had opened a door to a part of her she thought was lost forever. He had shown her that it was possible to find light in the darkest of places, and that love could bloom even in the midst of sorrow. With him, she began to believe that maybe, just maybe, she could learn to love and laugh again. Their journey was just beginning, but with Lucas by her side, Emma felt ready to face whatever the future held. Together, they would navigate the challenges ahead, finding strength in each other and in the love they shared. Their love blossomed amidst shared laughter, whispered secrets, and stolen kisses. Lucas painted her portraits, capturing the light that had returned to her eyes. Emma filled their home with music, her melodies now imbued with a newfound joy. They were two souls intertwined, their love a symphony of shared passions and quiet understanding. They spent their days exploring hidden cafes, strolling hand in hand through bustling markets and sharing dreams under a starlit sky. Lucas encouraged her music, his belief in her talent unwavering. He became her muse, her inspiration, the source of her brightest melodies and most heartfelt lyrics. Emma found solace in their shared moments, each one a precious jewel to be treasured. The pain of her past never fully disappeared, but Lucas's love had dulled the sharp edges of her grief. He had shown her that even in the darkest of times, love had the power to heal and to bring light back into her life. The news came like a thief in the night, stealing their joy and shattering their dreams. Lucas's diagnosis, a cruel twist of fate, hung over them like a dark cloud. The laughter faded, replaced by hushed whispers and stolen moments of shared grief. Emma watched, her heart breaking as the vibrancy slowly drained from Lucas. He grew weaker with each passing day, but his spirit, though dimmed, never wavered. He faced his mortality with a courage that both inspired and terrified her. He refused to let the illness define their last days together. They filled their remaining time with whispered promises and cherished memories. They revisited their favorite places, each shared laugh, a bittersweet reminder of the life they were fighting to hold on to. Emma clung to him, her love for him growing stronger with each passing moment. But even love, as powerful as it was, couldn't hold back the inevitable. The shadow of Lucas's illness loomed over them, a constant reminder of the precious time they were quickly running out of. "Write me a song, Emma," Lucas whispered one evening, his voice raspy with fatigue. His eyes, once full of life, now seemed to plead with her. A song that captures our love, our life together. A melody that speaks of our journey, our dreams, and our moments of joy and sorrow. Let it be a testament to all we've shared. A symphony of our laughter, our tears, and the silent promises we made under the stars. His request, a final wish spoken with a tremble in his voice, tore at her heart. It was a plea for immortality through music, a way to keep their love alive. Tears welled in her eyes, blurring the image of his fading features. She could barely see him through the veil of her sorrow. He looked so frail, his once vibrant eyes now clouded with pain and fatigue. The man who had been her rock, her strength, was now slipping away, his once vibrant eyes now clouded with pain and fatigue. Yet even in his weakened state, he sought to leave her with a final gift. Yet even in his weakened state, he sought to leave her with a final gift, a melody to remember him by, a piece of his soul captured in notes and rhythms. He sought to leave her with a final gift, a melody to remember him by, a song that would echo their love through the corridors of time, a melody to remember him by. She nodded, unable to speak past the lump in her throat. Her heart ached with the weight of his request. She nodded, unable to speak past the lump in her throat. Her heart ached with the weight of his request, but she knew she had to fulfill it. His hand, cold and thin, reached out to cup her cheek. The touch was a whisper of the love they had shared, a silent promise that she would keep. Let the music be our legacy, Emma. Let it tell our story long after I'm gone. His words, laced with love and acceptance, ignited a spark within her. Let it tell our story long after I'm gone. His words, laced with love and acceptance, ignited a spark within her. She would honor his wish. His words, laced with love and acceptance, ignited a spark within her. She would honor his wish. She would pour every ounce of her love. Every shared memory ignited a spark within her. She would honor his wish. She would pour every ounce of her love, every shared memory, every unspoken word into a melody that would forever bind their souls together. She would honor his wish. She would pour every ounce of her love, every shared memory, every unspoken word into a melody that would forever bind their souls together. The piano became her sanctuary, the notes her solace. She would pour every ounce of her love, every shared memory, every unspoken word into a melody that would forever bind their souls together. The piano became her sanctuary, the notes her solace. Each key she pressed was a heartbeat, each chord a breath of their shared life. Every unspoken word into a melody that would forever bind their souls together. The piano became her sanctuary, the notes her solace. Each key she pressed was a heartbeat, each chord a breath of their shared life. And as the melody took shape, she felt his presence beside her, guiding her, loving her, forever.